In a magical world where demihumans, Oni, and humans are violently in conflict with one another, a princess named Sally is on a journey to find a person named Makoto Kibitsu. Sally begins her adventure when she comes across a rabbit man lying on the road. She initially stays out of the way, but then suddenly hears of what appears to be a rabbit man's stomach grumbling. Thinking it may be hungry, she grabs her backpack and offers her a carrot. The rabbit introduces herself as Frau, and Sally notes this is the first time she has seen a demi-human. Against Sally's wishes, Frau begins to follow her. The two eventually set off towards a nearby village, where they meet a villager who, seeing Sally as traveling with a demi-human, immediately shouts at Frau to leave. Sally thinks rules are rules, and she and Frau should split, but after a brief flashback to Makoto, she decides to leave with her. Sally gives Frau her raincoat to hide her appearance, and the two re-enter the village in the hopes of finding food and shelter. They run into the lord of the village, who offers them both. Sally and the lord eat dinner, while Frau retreats to an offered room. The lord tells Sally of the village's hardships at the hands of the Oni, and how they were all killed by an unknown stranger. After some questions, the lord reveals that Makoto was there just 2 weeks ago. After dinner, the lord shows Sally to her room and tells her of the inferiority of the demi-human people. He says in the end, they are no different than regular demons, and they are in fact the enemies of mankind. Sally wakes up to a large crashing sound and finds that a demon has landed in the village. She approaches the Oni and freezes instantly. Realizing she is about to die, Frau comes to her rescue and kills the Oni in 2 kicks. Sally thanks Frau and replies saying she thinks Sally is very kind and wants to stay with her. The lord of the village asks the two to leave, but Frau approaches the lord and thanks him for the carrot, much to everyone's shock. Leaving the village, they are surrounded and then arrested by members of the Rimdarl Knights. Sally and Frau find themselves locked in a cell, but not long after they are released by the captain of the Rimdarl Knight, Hawthorne-Grader. They say that they were interrogated without food and try to blackmail him in order to get a meal or two before going on their way. As they are on the market, suddenly there is an explosion. The source of it is revealed to be a giant walrus Oni named Set. Hawthorne tells Sally that they must run, but she stands there, almost as if she has frozen out of fear, with a mysterious aura around herself. Frau attacks the Oni and says that she must run quickly. The Oni though succeed in catching Frau and throws her in the air. As she is falling, Sally tells her friend not to give up. The Oni decides to finish them both, but suddenly his hand is cut off. In this moment, it's revealed that the peach from the old Momotaro story wasn't the only one to appear down the riverside. Meki sits under a big tree and watches a couple of butterflies flying around some flowers. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears from behind the tree and asks her why she is sighing. She is surprised that she isn't alone and wasn't able to feel another presence except for herself, but then out of boredom decides to play with the stranger. As she tries to use her ogre blast, the tree is sliced down, much to the girl's shock. The stranger tells her that he also wants to play and asks her if the explosion that happened earlier is her doing. He then adds that it won't be fun for him to slay her while she is regenerating her powers and suggests to have a little talk while waiting. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom of Rimdarl, Sally continues her fight with Set. The giant walrus ogre is thrilled that he is to fight with not one but 2 strong opponents in a single day and proceeds to attack Sally. He tries to punch her, but she manages to stop his fist. In the meantime, Meki is seen sitting next to the tree log, left after the tree was cut. The ogre girl asks the stranger if he is the notorious demon hunter who is traveling, slaying all Oni in his path. He is surprised that she has heard of him, but then asks her why are they attacking the city. Meki answers that the humans have cut trees and moved stones from one place to another to build the castle, and tells him that humanity are the enemy of her kind. He accuses her of having a vengeful love of nature as a result of her rage over losing her land. Finally, 5 minutes passes, and the Oni has recharged her power. She attacks him, saying that he is a threat and she must get rid of him. He laughs and tells her that she is free to try. Back in the city, Set tells Sally that she is also a threat and proceeds to use his ogre blast, but much to his shock, Sally manages to survive. She then looks around herself as if she hasn't realized that there was an explosion and tells the ogre that she can't let him do it again. She takes her sword out and slashes her enemy, defeating him in the process, but then passes out. The stranger decides to make it easy for Meki and wounds his own leg with his katana, shocking the girl. He tells her to use her ogre blast on him, but then somehow manages to survive it as well. He then pushed the girl on the ground and tells her that his name is Makoto Kibitsu, and he is a sworn enemy of Oni, as he cuts her horn and stabs her eye, revealed to be the power source of her kind. Suddenly, Dog appears and asks him why he hasn't killed her, and Makoto tells him that without her power she is no different than a human and that is a way for him to torture her. Then they are seen leaving the city. Later the same day, as the sun sets, a mysterious figure appears saying that he has found the person he is looking for. Sally awakes and sees Frau staying next to her. Frau tells her that she has defeated the Oni, and then Hawthorne gives her sword, confirming what the hairfolk told her. He then asks them to follow him, and they find themselves in a cell, which shocked them as they think they are arrested once again. Hawthorne tells them that they are not imprisoned and show them a girl sleeping in a cell. He tells them that she is a possible Oni, and asks them to stay in the cell guarding her. Then the captain leaves the room, and Frau tells Sally that the girl is actually pretending to be asleep. She asks Meki if she remembers who she is, but Meki tells them that she is Oni and tries to attack Frau. She realizes that her power is gone, thanks to Makoto. After hearing his name, Sally tells her that she believes that she is Oni, but then says that she will be executed if the guards find out. Meki tells the blonde that she prefers to die, but this annoys Sally and she orders Frau to help them escape. Meanwhile, a guard enters Hawthorne quarters and tells him that the prisoner has escaped and that apparently Sally and Frau helped her. Sally is seen running from the knights when Hawthorne appears on his horse. He tells her that as a knight he can't let them, but suddenly he is kicked by Frau. Hawthorne then asks her if she realizes what she is doing, and has answered that it is because she knows that she is running away really fast. As one of the knights is giving the reins to his captain, suddenly the whole city is wiped out, much to everyone's shock. In what appears to be a tournament, Hawthorne is seen being victorious, but Sally, Frau, and Carrot clap, as like they are bored. Hawthorne comes closer and asks them if they have seen his moves. Sally tells him that he is lucky his opponent was weak, and then leaves. They are seen walking in a dark corridor when Carrot asks her if it is okay for them to leave him there. Sally answers that she actually have no interest, but then the Oni girl asks her why is Hawthorne participating in a tournament in the first place. She says that the likely reason is the reward of 300 gold coins for the winner. Frau though adds that she thinks it is just because of a man passion, surprising the group. As they are walking, Sally suddenly sees Makoto in the crowd and decides to run after him, leaving her friends. She manages to catch up with him on the street. She calls his name and he turns, saying that it has been a while since their last meeting. They decide to sit on a bench and talk for a bit. Makoto apologized that treating her with a free cup of water is all he could afford. In a flashback, it is revealed that the reason why he is broke is because Milia has consumed all his money. Makoto then tells Sally that even if he is broke, he probably won't be soon. She asks him if he is planning on participating in the tournament, but he tells her that the culprit responsible for his lack of money is actually the one to fight. Immediately after, Milia is shown beating her opponent in the arena. She is annoyed that she has become weak after she lost her Oni powers. Meanwhile, Sumeragi and a nameless mid-Oni are seen talking next to the ruins of an old church. The mid-Oni apologizes for his failure on his mission. Sumeragi tells him that his opponent is just too strong and that it is not his fault. While they are talking, a young girl appears and demands to be carried. The Oni asks himself what is wrong with her, but then Somenki insults him and tells him not to disrespect his master. Sumeragi decides that introductions are necessary, and reveals that the girl name is Juselino, and that she is a Oni god. He quickly apologizes to her, and agrees to carry her on his shoulders. Then they are seen walking towards what appears to be a summoning circle, and it is revealed that Sumeragi is hosting a Oni assembly. Suddenly the circle activates and numerous Oni appear. Sumeragi announces the beginning of the 672nd Oni assembly and shows them a map of their influence on the continent in the past and then another map of their highly reduced influence now, shocking all the Oni. Sumeragi tells them that the one responsible is none other than the Peach Boy, and that Set and many more have been killed. Oni Todoroki asks him, why isn't he uniting them to fight the killer? And Sumeragi replies that it wasn't his intention to make them afraid. He then shows them the decapitated head of Somenki as a proof of how dangerous Makoto is and lies that Meki has been tortured and then killed. This makes Todoroki furious, as he is revealed to have a crush on her, and he decides to kill the Peach Boy. Back in the city, Hawthorne is seen stretching when he is approached by Juselino. She once again demands to be carried. He asks her if she has got lost, but she answers that she is waiting for someone. Hawthorne decides to walk with her and introduces himself. As they are walking, they bump into Sumeragi, who he tells Hawthorne that he is a priest and that he is her guardian. Sumeragi then asks Hawthorne if he is going to participate in the tournament today and tells Juserino that it is okay for her to support him. In the meantime, Milia is getting ready as well, when Makoto tells her that even if he can't be there to support her, he will pray for her well-being, making the girl blush. Hawthorne is seen preparing for his next fight when in the crowd he hears Juselino. Somewhere in the same crowd, Sally is seen saying that it is too loud when she is approached by Sumeragi. He introduces himself and tells her that his goal is the same as hers, Oni and humans to live together. Makoto appears and tells Sally to stay away from him because he is the enemy, and tells her that he is a powerful high Oni. Sumeragi confirms that, but then also adds that if Sally cooperates with him her goal will become reality. Makoto though tells her not to trust him and to choose her friend's side. Suddenly Sally is faced by a difficult choice. A flashback shows Sally running away from her father's guards in hope of exploring outside of the castle. It is revealed that humanity has built high walls around their cities because of their fear of the lands full of demons that laid beyond. She runs into a stranger, later revealed to be named Makoto, and asks him to lie to the guards about her whereabouts, to which he agrees. The guards, thinking that Makoto is a female traveler because of his appearance, tell him to be careful out there. Then they ask if he has seen a girl running down the road, to which he answers that he has and give them false direction. Seeing them leave, Sally appears from a bush that she used as a hiding place and introduces herself to her new friend. She then invites Makoto back to the castle for free food and shelter, and in return she asks him to tell her more about his travel. On the next day, Sally walks in Makoto's room and is surprised to see that Makoto is flatter and skinnier than her, and then even more shocked to find out that Makoto is actually a boy. As they wander in the castle grounds, Makoto tells Sally of his journeys. Sally jokingly comments that since someone as weak as Makoto can travel about, she should probably be able to as well. She asks him to take her with him, but then Makoto changes his tone and tells her his path is very dangerous as he might abandon her, or she might lose her life on the way. He then asks that even if she knows all of this, which she still wants to join him. Sally is taken aback, to which Makoto says he was joking. Inside the castle, Sally's father the king meets with a stranger who reveals himself to be an Oni. He tells the king he will require at least 30 bodies a month as payment for tribute. A knight tells the Oni to back off, and before the knight can finish, he is beheaded, to which the Oni states this sacrifice does not count. The Oni leaves the king's presence and sees Makoto in the courtyard. He begins to worry as his plan may not work out as planned. Cutting off Sally's conversation, Makoto senses the Oni and pursues him without Sally realizing. Inside the castle, there is a great commotion around the king as to how they should confront this newfound threat. The king approaches Sally and tells his daughter that she should go out and start her own journey, knowing full well it would be too dangerous if she stayed. Suddenly a rumbling is heard outside and Sally rushes to see what it is. Seeing Oni for the first time, she determines she must get closer. Out in the field, the horde of Oni gather and meet the Oni who spoke to the king, Yaki. Yaki tells the leader of the horde, Moki, that the plan is off, as the one who destroyed Yaki country is in the castle. Suddenly Makoto approaches the horde, to which Moki gets excited at the prospect of strangling him. Sally shows up and screams to Makoto that he has to leave right now. After an introduction between Moki and Makoto, the former strikes first with a left punch, but Makoto cuts his hand off. A narrative reveals that Makoto is from overseas and that he kills Oni for pleasure. Makoto slaughters the horde with a noticeable bloodlust and at last approaches the bleeding Moki. He asks Makoto what his identity, to which he responds that he is a helpless traveler who hunts Oni. Back at the gate, Sally is against it even though Makoto saved her kingdom. He did so in a terrifying way. A dog suddenly appears and Makoto expresses that it's time to leave. Sally begs Makoto to stay and tell her more about travel and Oni and tries to pursue him. She is stopped by the corpses of the Oni in her way and falls to her knees in disgust. Makoto keeps walking forward, but Sally calls out to him, only to realize he had been gone a month and she is still dreaming of him. Sally approaches her father and tells him that she is finally going on an adventure. Much to his surprise, she cuts off her long hair and joyfully tells him she is no longer going to live as a princess. The king asks her if she has a plan and she responds she'll go see the world first, and then come up with a plan after. Sally is surprised at her father's support, and even more surprised he won't stop her. The king smiles and tells her to take care of herself. In an unknown town on a full moon night, a woman wanders the empty streets. Suddenly she is attacked and killed by a mysterious figure. Meanwhile, Sally and her companions are seen walking on foot, when Hawthorne warns them that when they were in the previous town, he was told by one of the guards that there are reports of vampire attacks in the town they are headed to, and that many drained corpses were found on the crime scenes. Frau tells them that the city is already in their sight, but Sally, worried about what she just heard, asks Hawthorne if they could camp out instead of entering the town. He laughs and says that there is nothing for her to worry about, and adds that apparently the vampire attacks only beautiful girls and she won't qualify. This angers Sally, who then punched the guy in the face. They enter the town, but immediately realize that the people in it aren't particularly welcoming of demihumans, as the group hears them whispering behind their backs. Carrot asks Sally to teach them a lesson and asks her to use her peach power. Sally answers that she can use it only against Oni, but this angers Carrot, as in her opinion refusing to kill her own kind, but using it against others is discrimination as well. They arrive in front of one of the city inns, when Hawthorne tells them that judging by the people reaction it isn't a good idea to bring a demi-human with them. Sally asks him if he can just use his title, but is answered that it doesn't mean anything anymore as they have crossed the border of Rimdarl. Frau though tells her that it is alright and adds that she will go buy provisions while they get a room. Carrot says that she will accompany her so that she isn't alone. They are seen walking in the marking area when Frau stops in front of a carrot stall. Suddenly the owner of the stall appears and tells the demi-human that if she wants to buy, she can, but otherwise she must leave. She gives him the money for the carrot, but then he throws the change on the ground and tells her that if she wants it she should get it herself. Meanwhile, Sally and Hawthorne are seen in the room they just rented, when he says that witnessing the discrimination Frau is forced to experience can lead to Carrot doing something stupid. Sally says that she will go looking for them and then leaves the room. Later that evening, Frau and Carrot are seen sitting on the ground, when the former Oni asks Frau how the humans can treat her this way and why she isn't fighting back. The bunny answers that she got used to it and that only people like Sally make it more tolerable. This though annoys Carrot, who tells her that Sally uses her power against others, but is not able to use it against her own kind, and then shouts that she and Hawthorne have become too dependent on her powers. Carrot then decides to take a walk and clear her head, but as she is walking she overhears two women talking about the vampire attacking the city. She decides to find him, but then senses a familiar power and says that the owner of it can massacre all humans in the city. In the meantime, Sally is seen walking on the street when she finds herself in front of a seafood stall, reminding her of the first time she saw the octopus when she was still a princess and her traumatic experience. Suddenly, out of nowhere, her peach eye activates. As the night is coming down, Carrot finally finds the vampire, who is revealed to be the High Oni Kyukitsuki. He is surprised to see her and tells her that it has been a while since he has seen someone of his kind. Carrot asks him if he can do her a favor and kill all the humans in the town. He though asks her why she can't do it herself, but then is shocked to find out that she isn't an Oni anymore. After he learns about Sally and how she killed Set, he decides to help her, but adds that he wants to fight and kill Sally as well, as she is too dangerous to be left alive. As they are speaking, Frau appears, but Kyukitsuki tells her to get out of his way. She refuses and starts a fight with him, but soon after the difference in power is shown and he defeats her. He then uses his Kihu and kills her, shocking both Carrot and Sally, who just appeared. Seeing the corpse of her friend resulted of Sally attacking him out of rage. At first he thinks that she is actually weaker than the hairfolk as her movements are very slow, but then she punches him, causing him to cough blood. He fights back and explains that he drinks blood and can also manipulate it, but is surprised to see that Sally is unhurt. She tells him that apparently she is immune to ogre powers, but then the Oni says that her clothes aren't and proceeds to bind her clothes to the ground. As he tries to bite her and kill her, he is attacked by Carrot. Kyukitsuki asks Meki if she is trying to protect a human, but she answers that she despises all humans and adds that Sally is an exception as they are friends. He tells them that if that is the case he doesn't mind getting rid of them both. Meanwhile, Frau awakes and finds herself in a strange place, later revealed to be heaven. Frau looks around and sees a familiar face, an angel named Atra. The angel is shocked to see her and tells her that it is the second time she died this year. The rabbit asks her to revive her and give her a bit of her original power. This shocks the angel, who then reveals that her current body can't hold it, but is quickly convinced. Immediately after, the upper half of Frau corpse begins regenerating, and she comes back to life, transforming into something mysterious. The vampire says that he knew there was something strange about her as her blood had a curious taste, and then attacks her, asking her if she is a demon. She manages to blast the hardened blood he used against her, surprising him in the process, but then she disappears of his sight. Suddenly she stabs him, making a fatal wound in his stomach, but then collapses. As the Oni is dying, he reveals to the group that as his power source were his fangs, he could hide them easily and live among humans. He also tells them that he found a girl and fall in love with her, but on their wedding his Oni nature prevailed and he killed his fiancée. The vampire then says that they should hurry because the sun will come up soon and that now is the only time they can transport the unconscious Frau out of people's sight. Thank you for watching. I've only covered 1 to 5 episodes. If you are interested in this anime, the anime name